Hello again. It's often claimed that Chinese civilization arose independently of European or other influences, and writing, bronze casting, wheels, and other things were all devised by Chinese people, which is a tribute to their ingenuity. In addition to this, it is said that the Chinese were the first to come up with things such as magnetic compasses, and those inventions spread from China to the West. The truth is, the Chinese have always been very good at copying other people's ideas and even improving upon them, but that without outside influence, their culture would probably not have progressed any more rapidly than sub-Saharan Africa. What the Chinese have was given to them by Europe and civilizations in the Middle East. About 5,000 years ago, a culture known as the Yamnaya existed in what is now Ukraine. These people were pastoralists. They had herds of cattle and goats and so on. They also had wheeled carts, domesticated horses, and they produced weapons and tools by forging copper. They also spoke a language known now as Proto-Indo-European. Around 3000 BC, the Yamnaya began migrating from their ancestral homeland. Some headed west into Europe and others southeast into what is now Iran, Afghanistan, and India. The languages spoken in India and Europe, from Punjabi, Urdu, and Bengali in India to Spanish, Swedish, and English in Europe, all have their roots in the original language of the Yamnaya, the Indo-Europeans. Another branch moved east into what is now China. They took with them skills in weaving, textiles, and they passed on such practices to the Chinese. These people, we found mummies of them in China, spoke an extinct Indo-European language we call Tocharian. They taught their Chinese neighbours to make wheels, to tame horses, to cast copper, and to weave cloth. We know this because the oldest Chinese words relating to wheels, for instance, have Indo-European roots. It is true that the ancient Chinese quickly learned to master the things which the Indo-Europeans taught them, and that they improved upon the various techniques. Their bronze casting became more proficient, for example, than that being carried out in Europe. But they were only able to do these things once they had been given the original idea. They were very good at copying and improving upon an idea given to them by Europeans. This is still seen today, of course. Once we in the West invented, say, transistor radios, atom bombs, and space rockets, the Chinese were very good at copying and improving upon them. They did not come up with their own inventions. Even in ancient times, when they hit upon something original, they didn't know what to do with it. Take magnetic compasses, which is an example often given of something that the Chinese invented. It's true that the Chinese found out before Europeans about getting a magnetized piece of metal to point north, but they had no idea at all what use this might be. It was adopted by practitioners of feng shui, the kind of thing, arranging furniture according to certain strange spiritual ideas, something we call super science, pseudoscience or superstition. It's nonsense. It was not until Europeans saw this thing in action they at once saw it as a useful aid to navigation, and it was they that showed the Chinese what use magnetic compasses were. It is considered courteous these days to pretend that Chinese civilization arose without any influence from us, but that's really a polite fiction. If it had not been for the effort and resourcefulness of others, China would never have started using writing or even invented the wheel. Their country would have been as good as South Africa in the 18th century if we had not taught them so much in the beginning.